Hi, welcome back to Dr. Introspect TV, and it's your host, Dr. Introspect, and I'm back. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking to you about a movie, a South African film that I recently saw on Netflix, and the title is Seriously Single. Stay tuned. The storyline of this film really centers around mostly just 3 to 4 people. And the main characters are Dineo and her friend Nani. And it's actually a rom-com. As you know, a rom-com is not really my thing. But there are some life lessons in here I felt were worth discussing, as some people might be able to relate to this and just use the life lessons and apply them to their lives. I'm not going to be doing commentary on the cinematography or the delivery of the actors. I'm mostly focusing on the content and the type of message I believe that the story was trying to deliver to us. I'm going to be talking about Noni's personality, Noah's personality, how they interact, and some of the other things going on here. So this movie, being a rom-com, is mostly focused on relationship dynamics. As you know, human dynamics is discussed here very often. Some other facts about this film I thought I should mention. It was initially released in May. I think it probably came to Netflix in sometime this summer. Denoa's character is she seems to be an extrovert. So she's an extrovert person. She's an extroverted person. She likes to take pictures and post her deeds on wherever she is and such. She also seems to have like a preoccupied attachment style, so that she has this codependent traits. She's not only codependent with her friend Nani, she's also codependent in her attachment to her partners. As we can see, the movie starts with her wailing over a boyfriend that just dumped her on Valentine's Day, and that relationship was just 2 months, and she was acting like her whole world was over. So I mean, breakups are painful, but I don't think people fall in love and feel like dying in 2 months. And I also don't think that even if the love was that deep, yes, you would hurt, but you're not supposed to feel like your whole world is falling apart. That's something that just seemed a little unhealthy right there. Another thing we notice is that she literally forgets herself when she goes into these relationships. So when she enters this relationship, her identity is literally just based on the person that she's with, and Denoa completely disappears. She doesn't necessarily have a strong core sense of self, and her sense of self is defined by her relationships. Therefore, we see her throwing herself into new relationship after new relationship just to find that balance or stability, which I think is kind of challenging for you to have to depend on that stability on someone else. Your world is always going to feel like it's shaky and falling apart when you don't have a partner. And we could see her doing the moment that 2-month relationship ended. While she was acting like my world is over, she was scanning around and looking for a new partner immediately to come in and take that place. So that's definitely something. Denoa also has a boundary issue. So people that are often codependent tend to also have issues with boundaries. It's as though that there isn't really a clear line where she begins and her partner ends. So she and this new partner that she starts dating, I think his name is Lunga. Lunga was hot. Yeah. But she no longer, she wants to be cooking for him. She practically moves herself in without him. In that kind of situation, you're like, you want to feel bad for her. Like, okay, this guy didn't tell you that you were his girl or anything. You just pushed yourself in there. You know, she was basically taking up space in his residence, cooking for him, cleaning for him. Now, this is not an argument about don't clean for your man or whatever, but this guy was not her man. There was no claimation. Is that a word? There was no claiming going on. She just went in there and she was doing all this stuff, no boundaries at all. And I don't think they were up to 6 months or anything, or even a month, and all of this was happening. Brushing teeth, you know, while he's taking a dump, just all kinds of things going on. I'm not saying if this is where you are with your partner, it's bad. I'm trying to say that a lot of these things were happening at a time frame that was just significantly unusual, and there were essentially no boundaries in her space. The way she clings to Lunga, you know, is basically, we can infer that that's how she has probably clinged to the other men before him. And you would be wondering, where does a woman or a man or someone, because this could happen to a man as well, pick up this kind of lifestyle and attitude to where, you know, they're clingy, they have a preoccupied attachment style, you know, calling, being with you everywhere you want to go. Like, she was really acting weird. Like, they had sex once and she wanted to go and cook for him so that when he comes back, like, there was no kind of arrangement that anything like that will happen. And I think this happens a lot in the dating scenes. You know, girls are just, or even men, are doing things beyond, and there has been no conversation about a definition of this is where we are, this is what we're doing, or anything like that. So we see her doing that, and where this kind of attitude comes from, I think it really stems from her upbringing, because you can see that Dineo's mom and Nani don't really get along. It's like this unspoken Cold War type thing going on, and you can infer that, you know, her mother kind of raised her to feel like she needs to be attached to men to feel safe, secure, and have an identity. Her mother constantly kind of pushes her into like, when are you gonna find a man? You know, he should be like this, she should be like that. And that's because Dano's father wasn't like that. So her mother inculcated in her that she needs to find a man that's the opposite of that, and when she gets him, she needs to like cling to him like her life depends on it, and her life will be great, everything will be fine. I don't think her mother's intention was evil or bad in any way. You know, you would find that parents can only help you and give you advice and show you the way based on their own experience and as much as they know, and sometimes that experience and knowledge could be wrong. So you have to still find your own path for yourself. You might find that the path your parents led you to was wrong. It wasn't their intention. Some parents can intentionally lead you down the dark path. Not all parents are good parents, right? So I don't want to generalize, but you can see that she got raised and inculcated into this type of ideology based on her own mother's experience. And even the things she wants to do, like probably get her own place, you know, she has a good job at a social media company, she's doing really well, she could have gotten her own apartment, but Daneo has a fear of being alone. And I think that is something many of us on some level can identify with. You know, some people are probably going through this right now. You feel like you're so scared to be alone that you're staying in a horrible situation, or you're just looking for anything, like, you know, it doesn't even matter if you're not valued or you're not treated right, just so that you can feel like you're not alone and you're owned by someone. So not to like mention any faves, but a character I really enjoyed seeing was Nani. Nani is a tough cookie, you know, you can tell she has a hard shell exterior and she's a softie inside. And I don't know, I just really liked her vibe. She has a hard shell, and the contrast in the writing of the characters and the personalities between Dineo and her friend Nani, it was done in such a way that they complement each other really well. So I think that was good writing. Now when you see the stark opposite of Dineo, you might assume that this is probably a healthy attachment style. Like she's on her own, she's not clinging to nobody, and none of that. However, on the contrary, Nani also has an unhealthy, insecure attachment style. So her own attachment style seems more avoidant. You might say it's maybe avoidant dismissive, and it's basically this I don't need no love, I don't need nobody kind of thing. And healthy people actually strive for interdependence. So you still have your own independence, and then you have interdependence with people, because you understand that as human beings, we kind of are social animals, so we have to interact with each other, one another on some level, in order to strive and survive and grow and all of that. So you have Danae on one extreme of basically codependence, attachment. She doesn't have interdependence and she doesn't have independence. She's completely dependent. And then you have her friend Nani on the other end of the extreme, where there is no interdependence and it's just completely independence. And on my own, she has this rule where she doesn't sleep with a guy more than once. One time is enough. And she says if it's more than once, it's not a relationship. But she's not trying to have a relationship. She is in her mid-30s, making good money as an accountant, partying at night, just having good fun with her girl, and that's it. She gets her sex when she needs it, and for her, that's good enough, And I can understand it's safe, right? You're not worrying that someone is cheating on you when you're sleeping at night. You don't need to be doing what Neo does, crashing someone's wedding party, sneaking through the person's phone. All these things, you're doing because you're trying to confirm that they're cheating on you, or to see if they're not cheating on you, and things like that. So not having to worry about all of that can be one of the reasons why people decide to stay out of relationships, because they don't want to have to deal with that. But what now happens is when you do, people like this, you might think they're secure, but when they do get into relationships, things get weird, as you could see with her guy, because when you have a secure attachment style, those things don't happen. You're able to be vulnerable, right? So Nani avoids any form of vulnerability, and that's why she wouldn't get on the stage and sing. Maybe she would like to, but she's not gonna do it because it makes her feel vulnerable. So she avoids vulnerability at all costs. And that's the difference between her and a person with a secure attachment style. Because to have a beautiful relationship that is based on trust, you have to be able to be vulnerable. And if you cannot do that, you're never really going to experience the full breadth and depth of what a healthy love and relationship is. Now, to make some notes on Lunga. I wasn't rooting for him in any fashion. I just knew his type. I was like, if this girl gets with this guy and it just turns into one of those cliche storylines where the guy's like, oh my God, I've seen the light now, you're the one, you've changed me. Like, it turns into one of all those, the girl loved the beast out of him and he's now human and kind type of situations. I'm like, if this happens, I am so done with this movie. Like, cliche storyline, I am done. So he came and he was like, you're the one I love, and blah blah blah. But Lunga also does not have a secure attachment style. Yes, a lot of people that do this playboy type thing or playgirl, they don't have secure attachment styles either, and I'll tell you why. He actually seems like somebody that uses people as resources. So if a woman makes you, she's pretty, she makes you look good, she probably elevates your status in some kind of way. She elevates your status as well if she's wealthy. All those things come into play. And then when she's homely, she gets to, it's like you have a mother, she's cooking and cleaning for you and all that stuff. And he enjoyed it. Lunga also is a codependent. But he's not a codependent like, once there's some kind of dependency like that, you are a codependent, even if they're trying to act like they're all not the ones clinging and such. Why I'll tell you he's a codependent is because it doesn't seem like Lunga is able to stay single. And this is why he could not also stay faithful to his partner. To still go and, be seeing other people, even though he said it was agreed, it was a mutual decision, but he was still seeing other people in his relationship with his fiance. And then he didn't take time away from his fiance to heal. That was a 7-year relationship. That was a long time. You'd expect him to be healing and like really accept, reflecting on things and trying to grow from that. And immediately he just jumps into denial. And when denial breaks up with him, he jumps into another relationship right away, because we see his Facebook status change to in a relationship, and then she deletes him. And I was so proud of her when she did that, because when you want to get away from an unhealthy relationship, you just have to cut people off like that. Unfortunately, for your own healing, you might have to take that step in protecting your well-being and your mental health. And I was so proud of her when she just blocked him. I don't need to be seeing what's happening in his life. And she just, that's the end of the chapter. So you could see him, he can't be on his own, he can't be by himself. I feel like he likes to, he sees people as resources, or he probably likes to be taken care of by women. He enjoys that, that mothering thing. So whatever it is, maybe adulation, maybe attention. I think he probably enjoys female attention as well. He just will not stay on his own. He needs to get those things. So we have 3 people here with insecure attachment styles. I think the only person that seemed a little bit healthy is the guy that Nani gets together with. Like, he's the only one that seems to be healthier, because he was open to be vulnerable. When people that have a secure attachment style get with people that don't have a secure attachment style, and the insecure people really want to grow and work on those things, it can actually help. So that it's often recommended that if you have an insecure attachment style and you get with someone that has a secure attachment style, all things being equal, they're honest, they're loyal, they're trustworthy, it can help, you bring down those walls you have, or calm those fears, reduce the hypervigilance and hypersensitivity and all of those things that come with the insecurities. How does the story unfold? Nani and her friend of years, that they call each other friend. I thought that was cute that they call each other friend. Hey friend, that was cute. Nani and Didi, they kind of have a friend breakup. Now, if you've ever had a friend breakup, it's worse than a romantic breakup. It's worse, It literally just, this is someone she had lived with. Like, the interconnection between people that are that close as friends is so much more than a relationship. Now, if your best friend is also your lover, that's the only blow that is worse than this. If you can survive that, you can survive anything that is thrown at you. So, they go through this breakup, and Didi chooses to go with Lunga and take this risk and do what she always does, moves in with a guy, does the whole story all over again. And Nani's looking at her like, this is not gonna end well. When it ends, you're gonna wanna come back here, and I'm not gonna be here to pick up your pieces from the floor. So, and she's like, I've been here, I've done this over and over and over, and I'm not doing it again. And I saw that, and I'm just wondering, how many times have you found yourself in a situation where you are torn? You're torn and you're like, do I pick my guy or do I pick my friend? Do I pick my guy or do I pick my friend? For some of you, it might be family. Do I pick my girl or do I pick my family? Do I pick my family, or you're in that situation and you can see the friendship between Nani and Didi? It's basically that kind of friendship, and she's in that situation where she's so torn and she goes with the guy. Most girls do that, Most guys, I don't know, if you're a guy, tell me down below. When you're in a situation where it was your guy versus your girl, what did you do? Did you pick your guy? Girls, comment below. I feel like more times than not, girls pick the man. I also feel it might be a socializing thing, because a lot of women are socialized, like Didi was, into thinking that having a man is a trophy. So no matter what, even if your family is gonna be tossed by the wayside, pick the man. you know. So let me know below. I'd really like to know what your thoughts are. There was significant growth. We see them go through the journey of, you know, the thing about Didi. Didi is also codependent with her friend Nani. So even when she was not in a relationship, she was really attached to Nani in such a way that Nani did not feel like she could go and start dating. Like it was some kind of betrayal. Like if she started dating, she was hiding her relationship from her. So Didi really is someone that just could not be by herself. So it was really nice to see her go through that growth, deal with that pain, come out on the other side, get her place moving, and then it ends with her going to that safari. She had been wanting to go to a safari, but she felt like it's something she just cannot do on her own. You know, her friend would tell her, girl, go there, get your life, you know, do your thing, you know, do your thing. And it was so good to see her finally just go there, chilling by that safari by herself, enjoying the experience. And I don't know if some of you watching this are one of those people. There are places you want to travel to, there are things you want to see, the experiences you want to have, and you just feel like maybe you don't feel like you're worth having great experience, you're not worthy of love or something, and you can't do it by yourself. I'm just doing this. Look at Didi. Danae should be like your role model in this one, and just go ahead and try and just do this thing. Get your life, guy, get your life, girl. And you know, if you like it that much, you can relive the same experience again with your partner if you so do want. But don't hold yourself back from enjoying the things you want to enjoy in life just because you feel like you can't do it alone. You're not deserving of it, and therefore you're holding back. You know, be like Danae, go and try. I don't know how you guys feel about how they were drowning themselves in alcohol. You know, I'm not saying alcohol is bad, but it was literally the soothing thing. I don't think it's an effective way to soothe. There are other things that are just as bad: overeating, over drinking, over snacking, abusing drugs, such. Those are ways that people try to soothe their pain, and they're not effective soothing mechanisms. There are other ways. If you want me to make a video on how to soothe your pain when you're going through something, I can make a video on that. But just to comment on the whole excessive partying and drugging and the alcohol, excessive intake, getting drunk, you can see her also doing things that she regrets as they make videos, and they're calling her the desperate girl and such because she acts out of character when she's intoxicated. Speaking on Nani's growth, she was able to get into a relationship and be vulnerable. Vulnerability was displayed when she gets on the stage and sings that song. And that's why that guy took her back, you know, because I know for people that didn't see that, it wasn't about the singing. Don't go and sing and try to get a girl back or your guy back. It only worked because he knew that that's something that was a line that she would not cross. That in that moment signified that she was willing to be vulnerable to be with him, and he knew in that moment that their relationship would grow to a better stage, a healthier place even. So just to round up, this was a movie that was on basically attachment styles. You know, we saw some anxious attachment styles, we saw codependency illustrated, we saw dismissive avoidant attachment style, and we saw how people were able to navigate and get into healthier patterns and healthier relationships. And for me, I was happy that it wasn't the cliche ending, right? It wasn't the girl gets the guy and rides into the sunset and they live happily ever after. Now we've all concluded, I mean, this is 2020, we know by now that that's not true. Yes, they get together, but Cinderella and the prince still have arguments. They still quarrel about bills and, you know, changing the kid's diaper on time and things like that. We don't see that, but those things happen. So it was good to see that, you know, she went through all that hustle and bustle and she came out on the other end stronger, independent, and from this place forward, when she does start dating again, I believe she's gonna be able to pick up healthier partners because She's a different person. She's a whole person. A relationship is not a place that two half people come together. It's two whole people that come together to have a loving experience. And her friend Nani as well, she grows into a healthier person, you know, with this guy, and that's beautiful. I was happy to see that happen for her. And that goes to show, even when someone's acting all strong and tough, like nobody can hurt me, nobody can do nothing to me, it doesn't mean that they have a secure attachment style. Sometimes they are the most scared little kids inside. They're just so afraid of putting their heart out there because they're scared they will get hurt. So my final takeaway is, if you are in a relationship with someone and you find that you have to snoop around, like Danae did some crazy things, you know, snooping around, sneaking around, like sometimes fighting the girl. I'm not judging, okay? This is 2020. I mean, you know yourselves. But if you're a girl that goes and you're fighting the other girl, don't be that girl, okay? I'm gonna make a different video on that, but don't be that girl. You know, it's not worth your peace of mind. It's not worth the headache, snooping around, searching around, all that stuff. The moment you feel that you have been, you feel that you're not in that kind of position, that has become your life, it's not a relationship worth staying in. And I love that she could recognize that she could not trust this guy. He lied about where he was going. Yes, it was a surprise party, but he lied that, you know, and it was like she was having a flashback, a trigger of what happened before, you know, and she was like, I can't trust you. Realizing that she cannot trust him was growth. So please, if you find that you cannot be vulnerable with someone, you cannot trust them, you feel the need to constantly snoop around, and you don't feel safe, I don't think it's something that you should consider staying in or moving forward with. So with that being said, that's the end of this video, and let me know what you think. What are your thoughts? Remember my questions, like, have you had to pick between your man or your girl and your friend? If that happened, who did you pick, and do you regret it? That's my question for the day. And with that being said, if you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe down below. If you want to know when my videos come, you should click the notification button down below, and you'll be notified every time I post a new video. Remember, I am here every 2 weeks. And until next time, I'll see you. Bye.